Hello and welcome. In today's video, we'll review how to add a new student to LCPS district or how to update a current student's information in our system. The first thing you want to do is navigate to Las Cruces Public Schools homepage, which is www.lcps.net. From this homepage, you can scroll down and select online registration in this blue circle here. You can also access online registration through the Parents tab and then click Online Registration. This is our online registration homepage. It will give you a brief rundown of everything you need to know when enrolling your student or updating their information. If you are enrolling a brand new student to our district, you will need to prepare your documents to turn in. Your child's birth certificate, parent ID, proof of residence, and current immunizations are required to finalize your registration. We also have step-by-step guides on how to assist you with your process of registering your student in both English and Spanish. In order to register your student or update their information, you will have to have a ParentView account. There are 4 options in order to get into your ParentView account. Option 1 is I have or had students enrolled at LCPS, but I've never logged into ParentView. By clicking the Option 1 tab, it will instruct you to email our help desk, which is systeam@lcps.net, with your student's information. Once we receive this information, we will reply back to your email with a user ID and password for you to log into your ParentView account. Once you've received that email, you can then go to option 3, which is I have a ParentView account and I'm ready to log in. If a school member has given you an activation key, you can select option 2. I have an activation key and I'm ready to create my account. This is given when you already have a student enrolled and you've contacted the office staff. By clicking here, you can enter that activation key and create your account. Option 4, I'm new to LCPS and need to create a ParentView account. So if you've currently or previously ever had students enrolled or received services through LCPS, and this can include pre-K students, walk-in speech, or homeschool students, then you will need to email our help desk team with your student information to create a ParentView account because your student has already been registered with our district and already has student records in our system. But if you are completely new to the district and have never had students involved with us before, then you can click here in this blue button. It will ask you 2 questions. Do you have an active ParentView account, or have you ever had a student enrolled with LCPS, past, present, or assessed? If you answer yes to these, then you will be prompted to email our help desk for a username and password, and then you'll follow the steps of logging in with the username and password that we've provided you. So today for this example, we're going to answer no and click continue. But again, if you are answering yes to these questions, email our help desk team at sisteam@lcps.net with your student's information so that we can provide you with that information. You will be prompted to accept our privacy statement, and then you'll be prompted to enter your first name, last name, email address, and the CAPTCHA. So once you've had all that information entered, you'll continue to step 3. You'll then be prompted to go to your email and activate your account. So now we're going to go to our email account. Once you access your email, you'll receive something from TSS No Reply. The subject will be ParentView registration. You'll then click the link to create the account. You don't have to use your email as a user ID. You can use your own personal one, and then you'll enter your password twice. Once you log in and create your account, you'll receive a blue banner that says you are entering information for 2021 online registration. Or this could be 2 different options. We will start opening the 21-22 school year on March 1st, so you will have 2 different options of what year to register for. You will select the year that applies to your student and click Begin New Registration. The first page is our introduction page. It just lets you know that the things you will need to provide for a brand new student: a valid photo ID, your birth certificate for your student, proof of address, shot records, and if they received IEPs or any of that information, you could also provide that documentation. Just scroll down and click continue. You will be required to sign your name under the electronic signature, and just note that it does have to match exactly what your username and password was when you entered it to create your account. Now, the home address for your home has to be the physical address that you're at. You can later enter in a P.O. box for mailing, but this is actually your physical address so that we know what school that your student will be going to. So the first thing you're going to need to do is type in this search box. Please do not enter manually your street information because that won't link your information to VersaTrans to link to your school. So we're just going to enter an address, and as you start typing your address, it will appear down below. You'll select the correct one and it will automatically populate the information below. You'll then click Save and Continue. If the mailing address is different than the home address, then you can type this here. This includes a P.O. box. If your mailing address is the same as your home address, you'll check this box and click Save and Continue. It will then ask for the demographic information of the parent that is registering. The only thing that is required is the first name and last name and the preferred language for written materials. This box is for what language will you prefer when the school is sending home information. This can be report cards or just notifications about the school. It will ask for your employer name, but if you do not have an employer, then you can check the box where it says check here if parent guardian does not have an employer. You will then move on to enter in at least one phone number with a type, and an email address. This is the email address you use to register your account. Check the box for primary. This means that it's the first number called whenever the school is trying to contact you in regards to your student. If you have past military experience, then you can enter that here by clicking Add New with a start date, the type of military, service, active or reserved, and an end date. If you're still active, you'll leave this blank. The next page you'll get to is the occupational questionnaire. It is 5 questions pertaining to the parent that is registering, and simply answer yes or no to each question. When you're finished, click Save and Continue. If you have additional parents to add, you can click it here. If you're the only parent on the birth certificate, you can click Save and Continue. If you add a new parent, you'll just be prompted to complete the same steps. As you are required to add at least 2 emergency contacts other than the parent or guardian. You can add up to 10. Click Add New Contact, enter in their first name and last name. And you will need to enter at least 1 emergency contact phone number. Once you have all of your emergency contacts listed, you can move on to the next page. This is where you'll enroll your students. If you're simply updating information, then you'll go ahead and see your students who are already listed here. If you had student listed that you would like to adjust, then you could just click the Edit button. But for today's example, we're just going to add a new student. It will prompt you to enter first name, middle name, and last, along with their gender, birth date, their entering grade, and the student's primary address. If you had 2 separate parents that lived at 2 different addresses, this is where you would pick what parent the student would be zoned for. When you enter that information, click Save and Continue to move on to the next page. It will prompt you to enter your student's birth country and the type of birth verification that you will be sending to the school. You will then be prompted to answer our McKinney-Vento questions. If any of the following of these pertain to you, then you'll select yes. If not, you'll select no. If you do select next, you will be prompted to a new page that will ask you to enter your housing type. Emergency housing is for emergency situations where you are only staying at that particular location for a small amount of time. Long-term housing means that you will be in that location for a long period of time. For the student ethnicity and race, you'll select one and then also their race and move to the next page. If the student is brand new to our system, they will be asked if they ever attended a New Mexico school before. If you answer yes, you will not be prompted to enter our language survey. You will need to answer, if you answer yes, you will need to list the district name that the student attended kindergarten. If you answered no, then you will move on to the next page, which is our language usage survey. You'll answer questions 1 through 12, signing and dating. Be sure that you enter question 7. It asks what language other than English does your student use frequently at home. You may enter English if that is the only language used at home. If there are multiple languages used at the home, then you can just continue to add new. Once you've entered all 12 questions, signed your name and date, and ensured that question 7 is answered, you'll move on to the next page. You'll then get to our information release page. These ask questions if your student is allowed to access technology, if your student is allowed to have photos or videos taken of them, and if they are allowed to have their name published, like in the newspaper. If they win an award, you can answer yes or no to all 3 of these questions and signing your name here. If your student has attended schools previously before Las Cruces Public Schools, you will enter the school name, city, state, country, grade, and the year that they attended, along with a contact phone number. If your student has not attended any schools previous to today, you'll leave those blank. It will also ask if the student was retained and the grade retained. Again, if they were not retained, you can leave these blank. You'll then enter the relationship of the parent that is registering and check any boxes that apply to the parent. All of the definitions of all of these boxes are located here. Lives with means that the student is residing with you. Contacts allowed means that school can contact you. Education rights means that you have an active parent view account. Has custody. Mailings, this means that the report cards and things sent from the school will be mailed to you. Release to means that you're able to pick up your child from school. And financial responsibility, which means if they have lost a tablet, then you are responsible for that. You'll move on to the next page once you've answered those boxes. You'll then list your emergency contact relationships. Again, this should be 2 other people that are not yourself or a guardian. And checking this box here means that they are allowed to pick up the student from school. And just take note that they do have to be 18 years of age or older. It will then show the emergency contact order. This means that if a student has had an accident or school, or if the teacher needs to contact you, then this is the order that they will contact you. First, they will try the mother, then the aunt, then the uncle. If you don't like this order, you can click and drag them so that you can change the order of contact. It will ask you if a student has ever been tested for special services or programs. If you answer yes to either of these questions, then you will be prompted to enter information. Were they in ELP? Did they have speech therapy? Do they have a 504 plan? Or were they involved with special education? If your student is serving a short-term suspension, you'll answer yes here. If not, answer no. And did they serve a long-term suspension from a previous school or district? Transportation request date. If our schools are fully open and buses are currently running, then you can put in a bus request. For the transportation date, that's the date that you are completing the online registration. Transportation start date is the date that you would like your student to begin riding the bus. If you require transportation to school, then you answer yes here. If you require transportation from school, you'll answer yes here. Or you could do either or, depending on your need. The next page you'll arrive at is the school selection. This will only allow you to select your in-district zoned school. If you would like to attend a different school than what is zoned, then you will need to place a transfer request, which can be found on our website, lcps.net, by clicking on transportation. Fill out that form and submit it to the zoned principal. For students going to grade 9 through 12, you will have to submit the form to the Associate Superintendent's office by February 15th to be considered for a transfer. To access the form you need to complete for a transfer, you will go to our homepage, lcps.net, select Parents, and then go to Transfer Information. Find the question that says, if I want to enroll in a school outside of my attendance zone, can I? The information will be located here. There is a form for K through 8 students as well for 9 through 12. Keep in mind that the K through 12 form will need to be turned into the Associate Superintendent's office. The deadline is February 15th for transfers. If you need to add more students, then you can click the Add New Student and you'll be prompted through the same prompts that you were previously. If you're ready to continue, you can just move on to the next page. If you're adding a brand new student, you will be prompted to upload documents for the student, such as birth verification, home address, shot records, a transcript if it's available, photo ID, and since we did answer yes that we have a 504, it will prompt you to upload a 504 document if that pertains to you. If you don't want to upload your documents right away, then you can check the box. I will send a hard copy to the school instead, and you can get with the current registrar and email the documents. If our schools are open, then you can bring it to the school, but just note that until you turn in these documents, your registration will not be processed. When you're completely done, you'll be prompted to review all of the information you have entered. Anything is green is new information, so since this is a brand new registration, everything will be green. If you see anything in red, that means you did delete that from the student's record. Once you have verified that everything is correct, you'll check the box and click Submit. I also want to show you where to go to log into your parent view once you have your username and password. To log into your parent view, you'll go to Parents, Parent View, click on Parent View, and then log in with the username and password. If you do happen to forget your password, you can click the Forget Password here, or you can email our help desk at systeam@lcps.net. Once you successfully logged into your parent view, you'll be able to see all of your students. And if you're not able to see all of your students, please email our help desk at systeam.net. At the top left, you'll see what student you can see information on, like their calendar, attendance, class schedule, report cards will be located here, as well as under the Documents tab here. These will show all previous report cards that you can view. If you'd like to toggle to a different student, simply check the box with the down arrow and select the other student to view their documents. If you need to update your students' information, such as addresses or emergency contacts, then you can click here at the top right to begin your new online registration. This information will show you previously accepted online registrations. This should be done once a year, but if you need to do it an additional time, you can do this as many times as you need during the year. You'll just scroll down and click Begin New Registration to start a new one.